All right, what is going on, everybody? It is Monday. This past weekend, we had the first weekend of the NBA playoffs. We had some blowouts, had some really close games. We're going to talk about all that. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinion, comment them down below. If you like the vibes, consider subscribing. So, yeah, we had a couple really I wouldn't say blowout games, but convincing win games. We had a bunch more really close games. We're gonna talk about because how many series are there? There are at least 8 series going on. We're gonna talk about. I'm gonna try to talk about each of them. The only one that I really don't think needs any deep dive is the Thunder versus the Grizzlies, the 1-8 matchup on the West Coast. OKC won this game going away. They were very convincing in this win. Even even I was like, I don't really need to watch this first game. Either the Grizzlies are gonna blow everybody away and beat the Thunder, or the more likely thing is that the Thunder's gonna blow the Grizzlies out, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. They led by I think 50 at one point. That was the biggest lead. It was some crazy stat. They led. They finished the game. Um, Oklahoma 131 points to the Grizzlies 80 points. Yeah, and the biggest lead was 56. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, so we don't need to talk about that game. Oklahoma City's up versus the Grizzlies. That happened yesterday. So yeah, Sunday. But the actual playoffs started on Saturday. This past Saturday. And I took a bunch of notes about varying length of notes about each series that I watched and or that was closer, and I'm gonna go through them. We're gonna get to the numbers. We'll get to the numbers, but I wanted to do these notes because I knew if I watched something on Saturday, I wasn't gonna remember it on Monday. I knew I wasn't gonna remember it. So let's get into it a little bit. The first series I want to talk about is on the east side of things. I guess let's rewind a little bit here. Uh, yeah, no, let's do this one first. Yeah, let's do Pacers versus Bucks. Pacers versus Bucks. I have the Bucks winning this series. I'm not gonna change my vote. I have the Bucks winning this series. Now, I was sick this past week, so I didn't really get to deep dive into this because the news broke sort of at a weird time. But the Bucks are getting Damian Lillard back at some point, whether it be next game or game 3. He's back from his deep vein thrombosis. It's just a matter of his conditioning. So for the Milwaukee Bucks, they should have Dame back. This is an important fact because I have the Bucks winning this series. I thought the Bucks were going to play a little better without Dame. They at least hold down the fort for one game because they're the lower seed. They have to go. They're in Indiana right now to play the Pacers to play game 2. So they sort of have to. They have to be. You had to be ready to go. And the short story is, the Bucks were not ready to go. They were not ready to go. The only guy that was ready to go was uh, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was the only one ready to go. Gary Trent had an okay game for the Bucks. Kevin Porter Jr. surprisingly had a good game, and AJ Green surprisingly had a good game. Because this game was tough. This game was really tough for the Bucks. The um the elephant in the room for me is that this Bucks team did not look ready at all to play the Pacers, and they looked really flat. They looked really flat without Damian Lillard. And the guy I can blame for both of these faults, not being ready and not having a good offense without Dame being the offense essentially most nights, or some nights I should say, is Doc Rivers. The, I have an axe to grind against Doc Rivers, head coach of the Bucks now, has been a head coach in other spots as well. I feel like he never prepares his guys. I feel like he just never prepares the guys. His offense is is bad. It's a bad offense. I mean, I get you don't want to implement a new offense for like a game, 2 games, right? You want to run the stuff you've been running the whole year, part of the year without Dame. You want to be able to just slide him back in and him not have you not have to go back to a different offense than the one you run with Dame. But but it's not a good start. You're down 1-0. You lose. Here's the thing. If the Pacers win both their home games, will win one more home game because they already won the previous one. They just need to go in Milwaukee and get one, and then bang, you're down 3-1. You're down 3-1. And this team is not prepared to come back down from 3-1. Go back up to go up in a 3-1 matchup, in a 1-3 matchup when they would only have one win. I'm not confident in this team at all. I'm so unconfident in this team because um you have two starters, right? Two starters with 0 points. 0 points. And not a block or a steal. A couple rebounds. The guys who had 0 points, Torian Prince, right? I feel at this point Torian Prince is, what's it called? Notorious for doing this. Torian Prince is a pretty good player. But man, when you just need a little something out of him, when you just ask him to do a little something, he gives you nothing. And the midseason acquisition for him, Kyle Kuzma, literally was out there doing cardio. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals. Um, took 2 3-point shots and took 5 regular field goal shots. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And he played 22 minutes. He played 22 minutes. And then the other questionable one, he actually put points on the board though, was was a guy who got his first playoff start yesterday or Saturday, I should say. Ryan Rollins, former Warrior, former Wizard, Ryan Rollins. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why Doc Rivers wanted to start Ryan Rollins. I guess he just thought it'd be cool to start Ryan Rollins. But I I I, I was watching this. I watched the first half of this game. I was like, is that Ryan Rollins? And I was like, yeah, it is. It's Ryan Rollins. And for the love of it, I couldn't figure out why he was out there, why he was starting a playoff game. Because like you don't have to run a point guard. You really don't. Especially against this Pacers team that likes to run, that likes to get out on the break, right? And this was the best the Pacers looked all year, by the way. This is the best they looked all year. Every time I'd watch them, the Pacers look kind of flat. They look kind of like stagnant. This is the best they looked all year. And they probably should look this way all the time, but it's whatever. Back to the Bucks. I don't know why you chose to start Ryan Rollins when you have Pat Connaughton, when you have Gary Trent Jr. Like, you don't have to have a real point guard or a guy who plays point guard. Run a huge lineup. Like, I don't know why Doc Rivers was so insistent on starting Ryan Rollins. It was a very weird choice. Um, the other thing against some of these Pacers numbers, there's how many people in double digits? There's one, two, three, four, five, six. Six people in double digits, right? Compared to the Bucks, one, two, three, four. Four people in double digits, right? The leading scorer for the game was Giannis with 36 points. The leading scorer for the Pacers was Pascal Siakam with 25. He did a lot of work. He looked good. I'm not the biggest Pascal Siakam fan, but he looked he looked really good. He looks really good. Miles Turner with 19, Andrew Nimhard with 17, Tyrese Halliburton with 10, 12 assists though, and then off the bench T.J. McConnell with 11, Benedict Mathurin with 13. Um, this Pacers team looked really good. It looked really good. Um, the thing that struck me the most was that the Pacers were very good at getting possessions back, whether it was blowing up plays, whether it was taking charges, poking the ball out of bounds off the other team, obviously. Um, they just look solid. And I kind of forgot how hard this series was for the Bucks last year. That was last year, right? I think when they played them. And I picked the Bucks because I was like, oh, the Bucks are bigger. The Bucks are this. They're proven, right? This might be the Pacers' time, man. I'm not saying they're gonna. I mean, if you look at the bracket, they were just going to play the Cavaliers, and I think the Cavaliers are definitely better than the Bucks. But I'm gonna stick by my pick and stay with the Bucks on this. But the Pacers looked really good. They looked superb. The only other thing is that um, Brook Lopez can still turn back the clock, man. And if the Bucks can get that version of Brook Lopez only had 9 the other night. If they can get Dame back at any reasonable um, capacity, that'd be great because the Pacers won this game 117 to the Bucks 98. So if you get Dame back and you get 20 points, this is only a single digit win for the Pacers and a much less embarrassing loss for the Bucks. But yeah, that's it. That's the first game. Let's move on to the second game. Let's move on to the second game and let's make some good time here. All right, this was the most exciting game, one of the most exciting games. And everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. This is the let's see here. This is the 4-5 matchup in the West. The Denver Nuggets versus the Clippers. The Denver Nuggets did get the win that night, only by 2 points. It was an overtime game as well. The Denver Nuggets got the win 112 to the Clippers 110. I have lots of thoughts about this series. I think I picked I'd have to go back and look at it, but I think I picked the Nuggets. I think I picked the Nuggets to win this. I think I did. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the video. Um, I think I had the Nuggets. I don't know. It's gonna bother me, but it's fine for now. A couple notes here. Couple notes here that I took down. Um, watching this game, watching it from beginning to end, and it was sort of a realization of mine that the Nuggets suck without Nikola Jokic. They suck. The minutes where he is gone looked especially bad in this first game. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was something else going on for the Nuggets, but they looked so bad when he wasn't on the floor this first game. Like worse, more worse than usual. More worse, sir. Not. They looked bad. Okay, they looked bad without without him, especially in the minutes of this game. Looked really bad. Um, Speaking of, he had 29 points, 12 rebounds, or 12 assists, 9 rebounds. Uh, didn't shoot the ball well. I said this in my preview that Ivica Zubac for the Clippers is gonna make Nikola Jokic work. That's a battle right there. Ivica Zubac had 21 points, 13 rebounds. So that's gonna be a battle to watch. The battle of the centers. And during the course of this game, also, I realized that um, I think one of the keys for the Clippers to win, if I'm the Clippers, is I'm trying to get Nikola Jokic ejected from this game. Get him upset with a call. Get him upset, just because he gets so close to the ref. I'm talking about Nikola Jokic again. He gets so close to the ref, and he's yelling at them. And if any other player did that, they'd be ejected. And I feel like so if the same refs keep calling this series, they're gonna get sick of it, and he's gonna get thrown from one of these games. I just know it. I'm not sure which game it's gonna be. I think this could go 7 games, so it might be game 5, game 6, it might be game 7. Who knows? But he's definitely gonna get thrown one of these games, just because the temper is just um so high. Let's dive into some of these Nuggets numbers, and then we'll talk about the Clippers here. Aaron Gordon with 25, Jamal Murray 21. Let's see, Christian Braun 11, Michael Porter Jr. not his best game. 3 points. That was only made off one 3-point shot. And their coach, the Denver Nuggets coach, what's his name? Forgot his name already. That the new guy. Call him new guy. Ran a very tight ship. He only played Jaden Pickett, Russell Westbrook, and Peyton Watson off the bench. Um, let's see, what they combined for? I think that's 23 points off the bench. The bench only only contributed 23 points. Russell Westbrook did have some good moments though. Had some really game saving moments. Had some really scratch your head moments, but that's Russell Westbrook for you. Um, to move on to the Clippers. The Clippers have a few things they need to do to win this series. We're not, or let's just take it one game at a time for the Clippers. Win one game in Denver, okay? They need to do more pick and roll with uh, Ivica Zubac and James Harden. Was this? Nikola Jokic had 4 fouls. Almost led the team in fouls for the Nuggets. Um, was in some sort of foul trouble at some point, and the Clippers just never really went back to the pick and roll with James Harden and Ivica Zubac. Because I think if you can get Nikola Jokic in that involved in that screen and taken away from the ball, and have somebody roll to the basket, have Zoo roll to the basket, or James Harden get to the rim. I think that's a key for the Clippers to beat the Nuggets. Try to get him in as much action, try to get him tired. Once he's tired, he's going to start fouling, he's going to start complaining. These are things that the Clippers need to do. Um, and the Clippers, for as good as a rebounder that Ivica Zubac is, I think he led the game in rebounds. Yeah, the Clippers suck when he's not out there. When Zoo isn't out there and rebounding for them, the Clippers just stand around and they look at each other like who's gonna get the rebound. It happened at least 3 times during like the last half of the game where the Clippers were playing their smaller lineup and they everybody would box out, but nobody would actually go in and grab the ball. Aaron Gordon went in there and grabbed the ball for the Nuggets. Russell Westbrook is obviously always diving to the basket trying to get a rebound. Um, yeah, not good. They need to actually say, wait, Zoo isn't out here. We need to get the board because I think it's literally a 2 point game. Those things will cost you. Those things will cost you a lot. Um, and the Clippers need a better after timeout plays. I know it's the first game. I know it's in Denver. It's hard to inbound the ball later to the later parts of the game because it's loud. It's annoying. but you need better. You need better plays because some of the after timeout plays I saw sucked, and that's pretty much it for that series. This is gonna be such a good series to watch. Such a good series. I can't wait to watch more of it. Um, Next game. Yeah, we got 4 games left. Let's get through it. Let's get through it. Let's get through it. We're gonna head back to the east side of the bracket, the 3-6 matchup, the New York Knicks versus the Pistons. I have picked the Pistons to win this series. Um, I thought a little bit lesser of the Knicks. I thought a little bit lesser. I thought maybe the Knicks didn't have that, you know, and they proved me wrong. They proved me wrong. At least in the first game. Let me say this first about the Pistons. For Cade Cunningham, this is his first playoff game. Um, right? Yeah, first playoff game. Yeah, he had 21 points, 6 turnovers, 3 fouls, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 of 4 from three, and 8 of 21. And they said it during the broadcast as well, and I'll say it. The lights might be a little too bright. He might have had a good regular season. Cade Cunningham, he's up for most improved player. I I I was very very high on Cade. Um, Watching him evolve his game over the last couple years, and to get to this situation and get to this point to be in the playoffs again. At least the team is. This is his first playoffs. I The lights might be a little too bright, and this team goes as Cade Cunningham goes, because he is the engine. I mean, you have Mike Mikal, Mikal. Oh my god, I'm having I can't say his name. Mikal Beasley. Yeah, there we go. Sheesh. I had a brain fart right there. I apologize. He had 20 points. Um, Tim Hardaway had 19. Tobias Harris had 25. Asua Thompson had 10. Uh, these are the these are the games you need to capitalize when you get these games from these guys. Tim Hardaway Jr. isn't always going to have 19. Mikal Beasley isn't always going to have 20, even though his 3 point numbers are out of this world this season. You need to capitalize on these things, you know? I think the team's just a little too young. I thought they were a little more ready. And then seeing the guys that they were running out there sometimes, I was like, I don't know. Um, but both these teams are tough, and both these teams, there's gonna be an altercation or something this game where like multiple people get thrown out, and I'm not sure that the Knicks could survive that, even though they got some minutes from some guys. They got some minutes from Campaign. They got some minutes from Miles McBride, but Miles McBride just didn't put any points up or anything. So I'm not sure if the Knicks get three people thrown out, would they be able to survive? I know the Pistons can survive with 2, 3 other guys out, and I know the Pistons coach is more likely to trust his bench than Tom Thibodeau trusts the Knicks bench. That's all I'm saying. Both these teams are really tough. They're really tough, and biggest I think one of the biggest things for the Pistons is the guys off the bench, and Dennis Schroeder is one of those guys. The numbers really don't say here. He had 8 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Um, but he hit some big shots where he brought it kind of close, but didn't really make the push. Didn't really make the push is the optimal phrase. Is didn't make the push, and then the Pistons really lost this game with silly turnovers. Just being young and stupid. It's not even like turnovers that would like kill a series for a lot of teams. But it's just silly young turnovers, passing the ball not high enough on an entry pass. Um, just silly little stuff that I think they can clean up, but the Knicks are gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep forcing the issue once they see something, and that's pretty much it. If I didn't say the final score, the Knicks won the game 123 to the Detroit Pistons 112. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. Let's head back to the West Coast and talk about the 3-6 matchup over there, the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. I have the Lakers going to the Western Conference Finals, but they will not be going to the Western Conference Finals if they play like this. They will not be going. Um, this was a bad. This was a bad game. This is a bad game. If you look at the box score, and you look at the the final of the game, like, oh, it's not that bad. Luka had 37. You know, Austin Reeves had 16. LeBron James had 19. You know, and then you look at the rest of the team. Nobody else was in double digits. Um, Only Rui Hachimura, who also started, was close to being in double digits. He had 9 points, and this is the problem with the Lakers. They I don't want to say they need more help. They need to pick their battles a bit more effectively because when you look at this team without like just you have to run maybe a lineup without LeBron or Luca for like 3 minutes. LeBron, Luca, or Austin Reeves for like 3 minutes, right? I hate this team. Without one of those three guys on the floor, this team looks so lost. It looks completely lost. And on the other end, the Timberwolves are pushing the Lakers. They know that in the full court, in open court, they can beat the Lakers. Especially when they don't have to run Rudy Gobert out there, when it could be Julius Randle, um, Naz Reid, um, when they can run that, and even Mike Conley at his advanced age is still their starting point guard, but he was able to hide on some of the worst the how do you say it the on some of the other role players on this team. You don't really have to a guy like Mike Conley really doesn't have to guard a Gabe Vincent, um, some of these guys, the less athletic guys, I should say. It's easier for Mike Conley to hide. It's easier for him to hide on defense and then really exploit what the Lakers can't do on the other side. Um, let's dive into the Minnesota Timberwolves numbers. Minnesota Timberwolves had a brilliant game, a pretty good game plan. They got 25 from Jay McDaniels. They got 22 from Anthony Edwards. They got 16 from Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert with only 2 points, 6 rebounds. He's gonna have these kind of games this series. This is gonna be a bad series for Rudy. He might have a game where he has like 20 and 20, but most nights it's gonna be like this for Rudy. It's gonna be hard, and he's just gonna have to be out there to set screens and roll. And they should probably look to get him involved more, but this win was so positive for him. I don't think they need to change anything. Mike Conley with 9 for the Timberwolves, and off the bench, Naz Reid with 23 points. Let's see here. 6 of 9 from 3, 8 of 12 overall from field goal. Great stuff. Dante DiVincenzo, 9 for the Timberwolves. And, yeah, I already went over the Lakers numbers. We did see some cramping up from Anthony Edwards. That's something to watch. Cramps can be pesky. Cramps can take you completely out of games, completely out of series. I would keep an eye on that for Anthony Edwards. And the other note I have here is LeBron James question mark. LeBron James, terrible game, terrible game, terrible game. He is notorious for quote unquote feeling out games. This didn't feel like a feel out game. This felt like, oh wow, I'm really old game. Which is gonna happen these playoffs, and it's only gonna get more and more intense because the days off in between are gonna become less and less. And I mean, this isn't a bad game for most other guys, right? 19 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals, right? That's not a bad game for a lot of guys. This is a bad game for LeBron. So hopefully he can pick it up. Because if it's just Luka and Austin Reeves and everybody else, they ain't making it past the Timberwolves. They're not making it past them. Um, and this was yesterday. We're heading into yesterday's games. Not Thursday. What did I say? Thursday. Sunday's game. We're only going to talk about two here. Um, we did have Celtics Magic yesterday. That was the game after Thunder's Grizzlies. And I have no notes on this game, but from what I saw, I did watch the highlights. The Celtics and the Magic were going at it. They were going at it. Jason Tatum did not have a good game. I should say Boston won that game, so just for the record. Paolo looked as good as ever. Franz Wagner looked very good. And I still have the Celtics winning it, but I think it was a lot closer than the Celtics would have hoped. And I think still the series is going to go long. I said that in my preview. I think this has the potential to drag on if the Celtics aren't careful and don't put them away. To move on to the other game I want to talk about, the more entertaining 1-8 matchup than on the West Coast is the one on the East Coast, Cavaliers versus the Heat. It's the 1-8 matchup. Cleveland won this game 112 to the Heat's 107. Much more entertaining game. This was interesting to watch. If I was a Cavaliers fan, I would be vaguely worried. Um, Only because this um this um this series has the potential to be a little bit of a matchup nightmare. Um, he didn't play this game, but I was thinking about it most of the game. Um, if the Miami Heat can get Kelly Ware out there and playing, he did not play this game. I like that matchup. That's the only matchup I really like against his Cavs lineup, where they have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen starting. Um, I really like that matchup, and the Cavs won the game 112 to the Miami Heat's 107. But I don't want to say they just didn't get enough from some of these guys. Andrew Wiggins didn't play this game either, which is surprising. Let me see here. That's lovely. They're showing me a game from March. That was lovely. Let me redo that. The Cavaliers won the game 121 to the Miami Heat's 100. Andrew Wiggins did play this game. Kelly Ware did play this game. That is a huge mistake on my part. These are the correct stats. I was reading a game from March. I don't know why they pulled up a game from March for me. um, but I still do like this Bam Adebayo Kelly Ware matchup against the Jared Allen Evan Mobley lineup. I still think it has a lot of potential. I still think that what Miami did in runs and in spurts was promising. Um, Tyler Hero 21, the engine of their offense now. Um, can he keep it up? I think so. I don't know. Perhaps. Bam Adebayo with 24. Andrew Wiggins 14. I haven't seen him defensively locked in completely yet, but I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic. Um, Off the bench, Davion Mitchell has been huge for the Heat the past week and a half. Off the bench, 34 minutes, 18 points, 9 assists. Did some really good stuff in the play-in. And for the Cavs, the normal stuff for them. 30 points for Donovan Mitchell. A lot of energy from him. Darius Garland with 27. Very, 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 very rare. Very, very rare. Good first game from Darius Garland. This is a very positive thing for the Cavs because Darius Garland usually struggles in first games. He usually struggles. 9 points for Evan Mobley, 12 points for Jared Allen. And off the bench, my 6 man of the year pick, Ty Jerome, with 28 points. Huge for them down the stretch. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for them. I can't think of anything. I think this is gonna be if Miami can get both at home, this becomes very interesting. Because I don't know if the Cavs can duplicate some of the stuff they do on the road at home. They've always looked better at home to me. And we'll dive into this last matchup here. Rockets versus Warriors. The 2-7 matchup, right? 2-7 matchup, yes. The Warriors won the game 95 to the Rockets 85. Very, 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 very entertaining game. I'll say it again. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. Entertaining game, interesting game. um, the Warriors had a lot of rest. So did the Rockets. The Rockets came out a lot better though. They came out with a lot more energy. And I was saying to myself when I was watching this game, I was like, the Warriors got all this time off. They really wanted all this time off to come out so flat. They came out really flat. They came out really boring. Draymond Green got an early stop. He got an early charge on Alperen Şengün, and then they were really flat for maybe like a quarter and a half, and then sometime in the second late second quarter, they picked up the energy. They had a lot more energy. They brought that energy into the third quarter with a huge scoring quarter from Jimmy Butler. Um, Steph Curry doing his off ball stuff, getting other guys involved. Really, really good stuff in the third for them. Before I get to the end here, let's read some numbers. Jimmy Butler, 25. Steph Curry, 31. Brandon Podziemski, 14. Hit a lot of big shots for them. I didn't think I'd be saying that about Brandon Podziemski, but here we are. Moses Moody, really good defense. A great matchup on this younger Rockets team to have a young guy like Moses Moody doing some of the defensive work. Draymond Green, 4 points, 3 steals, 1 block, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Normal Draymond Green stuff. Gary Payton, 7 points. Didn't even feel like he had 7, but good for Gary. The Rockets, Alperen Şengün, 26 points. Only two personal fouls. I thought he had more. Dylan Brooks, 11. Fred VanVleet, 10. Jabari Smith Jr., 11. And yeah, they ran a pretty thin lineup here. It was 8 man rotation. Yeah, 8 man rotation, and the Warriors ran. Is it a 12 man rotation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they ran like a 11 man rotation. That's gonna be the difference in this game is that Steve Kerr's not afraid to play his bench, even though some of his bench pieces are pretty bad, um, still didn't play Jonathan Kaminga at all. I talked about that in my last video. I'm surprised Jonathan didn't get any play this game. I'm actually surprised. I thought he might actually try to use Jonathan Kaminga against this Rockets team. Um, and then heading into the final quarter, um, the Rockets did fight. Ahmed Thompson had some great moments. Um, Fred VanVleet had the Fred VanVleet moments you would expect. He had 1 3, and then after the clock hit below a minute, he just couldn't hit a shot. Um, Jalen Green, who looked surprisingly, I don't want to say surprisingly engaged. He looked more engaged than I've ever seen him when he only has 7 points. Because sometimes he looks really disengaged. Um, I think part of the reason why he looked engaged was because he played 31 minutes and at times really didn't have to share the ball. I mean, Jabari Smith Jr. had 11. Tari Eason came in and gave him some good energy. But once it got towards the end of the game, I think it was under a minute left. It was still relatively close. The Warriors just put the finishing touches on. Their um their experience started to show when you leave the door open sometimes for teams and they come back. The Warriors didn't do that this time. They just closed the door and said, "We got game one in Houston, and that's the only one we needed." So yeah, that's the playoffs. About as long as I thought the video would be. Pretty average stuff for me. But yeah, that was day one and day two of the playoffs this past weekend. Uh, Sorry for the lack of videos last week. It was kind of hectic. I was sick, and then I wasn't sick, and then I was still recovering, so I didn't sound as good. I wanted to put out a video this weekend. I recorded it, but I just didn't like the quality. I couldn't put that thing up, so I will re-record that today, and then you guys will get a double feature on Tuesday, and today this will just be this video and in its 40-minute glory. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.